Okay.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Entrepreneurship World Cup Southeast Asia Social Impact Regional Finals. My name is Kuntap. I'll be your host for today's competition. I work for an organization called Gobi Partners. We're a pan-Asian venture capital firm with presence across North Asia, South Asia, and ASEAN. With over 1.2 billion in assets under management, we support entrepreneurs from early to growth stages with a deep focus in emerging and underserved markets. This is our second year working with EWC, and we are proud to co-host EWC's first regional competition in Southeast Asia, along with our partners Global Entrepreneurship Network, MISC, TGELF, in collaboration with Andy and AWS. As you may have guessed, the competition's theme this year is sustainability, and we have chosen startups that have demonstrated a meaningful and measurable approach to advance sustainable development from across the region. Through our competition format, 16 startups from Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia were branched into 3 distinctive industries: biosphere, inclusive society, and growing economy. Only 6 startups made it through our qualifying rounds and into a competition finals. I would like to firstly introduce our EWC finalists. Representing the biosphere is Jazzberry and Outpost. Representing inclusive society is ACAD Asia and Profine. And finally, representing growing economy will be Bounty and System Stone. Only one of these startups will be crowned EWC's first Southeast Asian champion, move on to EWC Global 100 stage and win $100,000 in in-kind prizes sponsored by EWC Global. Before we begin with our first pitch, I would like to also introduce our panel of esteemed judges. Firstly, we have Carlo Delantar, Head of Circular Economy at Gobi Partners. Then we have Tanya Lestari, Senior Investment Associate at Open Space Ventures. And last but not least, we have AJ Gore, Operating Partner for Technology at Sequoia Capital. The session will last for about 90 minutes, with each startup having 5 minutes to pitch, followed by 5 minutes Q&A. Our judges would then decide on one winner at the end of the session, so please make sure you stick around till the end. So without further ado, let's get started. Pitching first from our list will be Bounty from Singapore. Please take it away.
All right, thank you, Kuntap. Let me share my screen. All right. Good afternoon, judges, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lex, and let me take you through the journey of esports through Bounty, a marketplace to connect gamers globally. 18 years ago, I was ranked 8th in the world for this game called Warcraft 3. But no, I didn't make any money from this, simply because there wasn't much opportunities back then. One of the biggest tournaments in esports, the International, has now a mind-blowing $40 million in prize money. And if I've gotten the same 8th position in the International, I'll be walking away with $1 million right now. Wow. So there are 2.7 billion gamers in the world. However, only the top 0.1% of them are professional gamers. The remaining 99.9% of them are casual, amateur, and semi-pro gamers. And this is where Bounty is focusing on. Based on our market research, an average gamer will spend about $1.86 on Bounty's platform, giving us a whopping $5 billion in total addressable market size. Within the next 5 years, Bounty aims to capture 15% of Southeast Asia, 450 million gamers, giving us 125 million in serviceable obtainable market size. I'd like to introduce Yota and Gary. Yota is a tournament organizer and Gary is a casual gamer. They both had the same problem as I do, which is how to make money from esports and gaming through our passion. Let me take you through the journey of how Yota can easily create a tournament on Bounty's platform within 1 minute. Let's say he wants to organize a Mobile Legends tournament for individuals under a single elimination system for 32 teams. He can then decide what tournament name he wants, as well as the start and end date. He can then set a prize money, and in this case, it is $50. So once he toggles this prize guarantee feature, our platform will escrow $50 from his wallet and send it over to the winners once the tournament has concluded. And in this case, he has also added an entry fee of $5 for the gamers to want to participate. So once he clicks on publish, he needs to deposit $50, and then our platform will escrow in this $50. And after he do this, he can earn $86 just over this weekend after deducting $24 in fees payable to Bounty, and also after giving out $50 in prize money to the winners. So let's jump on to Gary and see how he can make money on Bounty. With already $20 in his wallet, he can enter the tournament that is organized by Yota by simply paying the $5 entry fee. And if he's the winner, he will bring back $44.75 after deducting 25 cents payable to Bounty. So how we make money is simple. First, we take a 15% off every single tournament that is hosted on our platform in terms of their prize pool. Secondly, we charge our advertisers between 50 cents to $5 per quest that is completed on our platform. Thirdly, on our store, we charge our merchants 5% commission on the orders on our store. And then lastly, we simply charge a 5% withdrawal fee when the gamers want to withdraw their winnings. So this graph showcases our growth trajectory from May 2019 to where we want to be in June 2022. And with the help of our small-scale organizers, as well as strategic partners, we have already grown steadily to about 140,000 gamers on our platform. So let's look at competitors' metrics. We are the only platform with monetization features, and we also have developed a comprehensive set of features that enhances our gamers' experiences. Comparing Bounty with the other incumbents in the industry, like Challenge and Butterfly, we are the platform that is super easy to use. We also have a customizable tournament page, and then we are the only one with monetization features. We'll be integrating chat through our platform by end of this year, as well as having a recommendation engine by the beginning of next year. So this allows us to be much better than our competitors, offering gamers far more features and benefits on our platform. So in terms of team, we are made up of teams of avid gamers, as well as entrepreneurs, with diverse and complementary skill sets, battle tested over the past 2 years of operation. We are headquartered in Singapore with 18 developers and designers based in Indonesia. All right, thank you so much for your time and attention. Look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. We still have a lot of time left for your pitch, so we'll move straight to the judges' Q&A.
That's great.
Okay, let me shoot the first question then. Thanks, Lex, for the presentation. So I have two questions actually. The first one is, how is it currently being integrated with the games? Because you kind of need to put your accounts, right? Or is it like actually like the gaming itself is being hosted in the gaming application itself? And then on the second one, I think it's pretty clear on how you onboard the gamer. But I just want to get a sense on how you're actually onboarding the tournament organizers.
Okay, great question, Tanya. I appreciate it. Seems like you do play a little bit of games, that's why you're asking a little bit more technical questions. So in regards to the game itself, we do not integrate to the games because we want to have a very open approach where any game titles, be it mobile, PC, or desktop, we can all have it on our single platform. Just think of us like Eventbrite for organizing tournament events at this moment. But of course, in the future, we will want to integrate to the top 10 popular games where you have a very seamless approach, connecting you. Once you press the click of a button of play, you'll be connected to the games. And then whatever information or data that is recorded in the game itself will be translated into the platform. That will be the near-term future. And then for the second point, in regards to organizers, we actually do a very high-touch approach. We are currently onboarding organizers one by one, teaching them how to use our platform, and then from there, making sure that they are very successful on our platform. So this is how we are able to onboard a lot of organizers based in Indonesia on our platform right now.
Thanks. Any KYC process?
KYC process?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we are the only platform in the esports industry that has KYC process because we have a built-in wallet. So very sharp for you to notice that.
One of the things which comes to my mind is that what is your acquisition and retention strategy?
Yeah, great question, AJ. We have been acquiring users within the range of 15 cents to 50 cents per gamer in Singapore terms. So in your mind, I think probably with your experience, you will understand that this is actually a very low cost per acquisition. And the reason why we are able to do so is because we go very deep into talking to every single organizers out there who have already been utilizing platforms like ours. So we showcase to them, oh, how much better Bounty is. With the wallet feature, it saves you so much time and so much money. And with that, you are able to, scale up your organizing business. So with that, it actually helps to bring us the supply side of the equation. And then plus, with a lot of tournaments on our platform, you will attract the demand as well. So that's how we are able to increase the total amount of tournaments as well as gamers on our platform at the moment. So how we increase the retention of our users is very simple. We just need to have as many tournaments as there is for the users to want to come back to participate. It is that simple.
And how many streaming platforms you are planning to integrate? Apart from, I'm sure you have Twitch and everything else. Apart from that, how many other streaming platforms you're looking at?
Streaming is a huge platform that has a lot of companies that are involved. So we simply just do a iframe integration to any kind of platforms that our organizer prefers. So we just simply plug it in, and then you can have it live immediately.
Okay. And what has been your typical demographics? Like, what has been like your typical kind of games people have been like looking at? Like, is it RTS or it is other kind of games? What kind of most played games you have?
At the moment, we are very focused in the students' population between the ages of 16 to 24 years old.
Mostly FPS? Is that mostly FPS or RTS?
Yes, FPS, mobile, Free Fire, all this kind of genre that are very new and very innovative and very exciting.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, AJ.
Hi, Lex.
Hi, Carlo.
This is Carlo. I was a top mage on Gorgonash on WoW. So this brings me back a long time ago.
Amazing.
PvE, not PvP. But so I have two questions. The first part is, with this model, the issue is always going to be the agreement with the games, right? And usually these games have a franchise model to really defend and make sure that the tournament proceeds would stay within their platforms, making it an official partnership. How do you deal with that? And then the second part is, I'm seeing some areas or some flags where I'm seeing the platform can be used for sports betting.
Okay, great question. I like your technical questions as well. So as of right now, we are working very closely with game publishers, to help them increase the engagement between the gamers and their game, and they love this model. There are some publishers that don't prefer the pay-to-play model, which is when Bounty asks for participation fees from the gamers. Only a few publishers, they don't prefer that, but we can go with a subscription model, of which if let's say you are paying a subscription model, you can entitled to join these paid tournaments. That is how we circumvent that at the moment. The second part, you're asking about, sorry, could you repeat your question?
Yeah, sports betting.
Sports betting, okay. So in regards to that, right now, we are not doing sports betting. We are just allowing the organizers and the gamers to connect, and then the gamers themselves have to put in a participation fee. There's no one betting on someone else's outcome, and there's no odds given to the better or the wagerer in this case. So we are very clear of that at the moment.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time. I want to thank Bounty for the pitch. Hope to play Warcraft with you sometimes.
One last question, if I can ask.
Unfortunately, we need to move on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You can take it offline. Thanks.
Next, moving right along. We have Jasbury from Thailand. The floor is now yours.
Hello, can everyone see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Swadee Krap. Imagine if there was a crop that could take millions of farmers out of poverty. Imagine that this very same crop has the power to transform the health of consumers worldwide. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a staple food that was not only delicious, but nutritious? This little grain of rice that you see here has the power to change the world. About 6 years ago, I learned that despite Thailand being the world's #1 rice exporter, our farmers are among the poorest in the world, earning just 40 cents per day or 6 times below the poverty line. A year into my journey, I met Poman, a 72-year-old farmer who worked tirelessly days and nights his entire life. And despite doing so, his debt has tripled over the last 10 years. He's one of 17 million farmers in the country, or 25% of the population. So introducing a new variety of rice called the Jasbury rice. It has 7 times higher antioxidant than kale. It has 4 times higher antioxidant than quinoa, and more than 40 times higher antioxidant than brown rice. It is simply the world's first superfood rice. So I took the liberty of going inside their home. I spent the first year with the farmers inside their home to learn about their life and to design a business model which will solve the problem of poverty. Combining profit and purpose, we use a cooperative business model that focuses on growing the rice as efficiently as possible under a certified organic system, and a production cooperative which focuses on processing and packing the rice. Under this entire value chain management system, we've been able to increase the yield of the farmers by almost 60% year on year, reduce their cost by 24%, and we were able to guarantee the purchase price almost 200% higher than the market. We launched in arguably the world's most competitive rice market, which is Thailand. Within 2 years, we broke even. And we started to think about the global market, and we started to think about what we can do in the global market. So we started developing a continuous product that is gluten-free, that is superfood, such as the gluten-free superfood pasta, the ready-to-eat, and also rice flour to use for various applications. Our mission is to make superfood accessible and affordable for everyday life. We currently distributed exporting for 2 years, and we're in 9 markets already, including Germany and the US. And doing so with close to zero marketing budget. It has all been through word of mouth marketing, to our consumers who love the taste of the jasmine rice and also the mission behind. With self-funded totally, we're able to get to this stage where we need funding to scale up internationally. And as we combine profit and purpose in our business model, as we scale up, our social impact also scales up significantly. From working with just 25 families 6 years ago, we're working with 2,500 families, impacting 12,000 lives. Recently, we have been recognized as the best for the world B Corp company, the only one from Thailand, which means that we are the top 5% of all B Corps worldwide, along the lines of Patagonia and Ben & Jerry's. Recently, we also starting to partner with Unilever to scale up the impact in terms of using jasmine rice as an ingredient for various brands. Our social impact has been independently verified by a Singapore third-party company called Shujok or WS Foundation, which found that our social return on investment is 4.3 times, which means that for every $1 we put into the company, the farmers get $4.3. So from earning just 40 cents per day that I told you at the beginning, the farmers are now earning almost $6 a day, an increase of 14 times. But when we talk about social impact, I want to introduce you to one of my favorite farmers, Mama. When she joined the project, she had 6 acres of land, she used chemical in her farm, and she had $10,000 of debt. Within 3 years, she's paid off all her debt, her land is certified organic, and she's more than double her land holding. More importantly, her 3 children who were working at a factory near Bangkok are now back on the farm working with her, because for the first time, they have a hope for a better economic future. We dream of a world where it's easy for consumers to make healthy choices that help small-scale farmers and the environment thrive. For me, this is the future of food.
Perfect. We still have another 20 seconds left, so we'll move on to judges Q&A.
So what has been your top 2 or top 3 biggest operating cost hurdles? Because I assume this model is very operator heavy model.
Yeah, actually, thank you, AJ. Actually, we don't own the facility. So the farmers own the facility, yeah. So the operating cost is mostly to do with the team itself. So building the team, we're very focused on the culture within the team. And it has been also more about traveling, like going to food exhibition internationally, going to the US, going to various European countries.
No, but you also do education to farmers in terms of how do you do?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, so we do a lot of various training program with the farmers, and those were quite heavy in the first 3 years. So after the first 3 or 4 years, it was quite streamlined, and we have a system now where it's not so, let's say, expense like intensive. So now it's more that we have a system in place, and when we grow the farmers base, they already have the field officer on the ground who does that, and we don't really bear the burden of those costs anymore.
Correct. And you have field officers, you have farmers. How do you track all this stuff?
I beg your pardon?
how do you track all this stuff? The farmers is making right progress, they are doing the right thing in terms of crops, you will get appropriate returns. Do you look at the crop quality and everything else as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So the field officers are also responsible for doing organic audit. So we have a third-party auditor that obviously double check the internal control system in terms of traceability, chemical residue and so forth. And also because the field officer offers the training, trains the farmers, they also understand the quality of crop that is needed. And even though there is still various quality of crop coming out, they will get different pricing depending on the quality. And that is quite clear to the farmer. So they have incentive to produce the highest quality crop.
Awesome. Yep, thank you.
Hi, Neil. Okay. I guess just to add up to AJ question, right, regarding the operating costs, maybe share a bit about the working capital net, because you're doing the R&D, right? Even though the facility are all being provided, but still like the inventory purchase and such. So I guess to rephrase my question, do you mind sharing about the cash flow journey? How you actually provided maybe like some of the working capital, and then once the rice is harvested, how are actually buying it from the farmers and then pass it to the end buyers?
Okay, thank you, Tanya. So yeah, that is definitely a challenge. So we realized that at the beginning of this journey that we needed a lot of cash, because typically we only grow crop once per year. And sorry, they turned off my video for some reason. The crop is only grown once per year. So we put the deposit up front for the farmers, right, which is about 50%. So we try to match that with our international customers, where they do a forecast and they have to put up money in advance. So that helps with the working capital, especially with the European and the US customer. They're a large organization, so they do have the working capital and the loan capacity to support us. But at the very beginning, we decided to go in a shorter term strategy, which is to sell it at a much higher price as a gift set. So we were able to generate a lot of cash in the first 2 to 3 years by selling gift set to corporate consumers. And that allowed us to generate about, I think it was about $600,000 of sales through gift set. So that really gave us a foundation, because we have self-funded this whole journey. So we never had to borrow any money so far, and we still have a positive cash flow today.
So your customer profile are B2B or B2C?
B2B. So they are large organization overseas, like distributor and so forth.
I got it. And they're actually willing to pay upfront?
They were not willing to, but it's a negotiation, right? And I said, they can only buy jasmine rice from us. We are the only one in the world that can grow this rice. So they don't really have an option if they want it.
And that one, is it patented?
We trademark in 60 countries. We can't really patent the seed because there's a lot of kind of legal things surrounding that. So we chose to invest in the brand and the trademark. And that's how we protect our intellectual property.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Hi, Neil. Congrats on being a B Corp. I'm looking at your score. You're right above the passing mark. You're marketing yourself as a social enterprise here. Am I correct?
Yeah, we are a certified social enterprise under the Thai law. So we pass all the criteria as well.
Right. Could you explain to me, there's some discrepancies that I'm looking at your impact area scores. If your community is very high, but your environment, workers, and governance is very, very low. What are your thrusts to actually raise that up if you were going to grow long term?
Yeah, that's a great question, Carlo. So actually with the B Corp assessment, it's quite heavily focused on organization that runs their own production facility, like if they have factory and so forth, because we are primarily more of an exporter, R&D and so forth. We don't have like an environmental system in place because we don't run a factory. So we would score not high at all in the environment.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But thank you so much, Neil.
Can I have like 10 seconds?
Yeah, 10 seconds.
That? Okay. So yeah, with the funding and as we grow, we definitely will look at ways to address those. But we haven't had a lot of any funding so far. So it's also an area where we haven't invested heavily. Okay.
Thank you so much, Neil. Next up on our list, we have Akad Asia from Singapore. The floor is now yours.
Can I just check if you can see my screen? Great, thanks. Hello, my name is Nilesh, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Acad Asia, a mission-driven edtech business that aims to empower educators everywhere. There are more than 95 million teachers worldwide, and 60% of them believe that they don't have access to localized, relevant, and affordable upskilling programs needed to design courses for the 21st century learners. Moreover, an additional 69 million trained teachers are needed to achieve the UN's goal of universal education. But based on recent trends, teachers' salaries have been decreasing exponentially, and as such, the need for trained teachers is going up and not down. So we designed FreeJu, the global community of educators that is trusted by more than 100,000 teachers globally. Through FreeJu SkillEd, teachers can earn stackable credentials on the blockchain through professional development programs designed by global experts, which lead to better employment and income opportunities for them. Through FreeJu DesignEd, they get access to simple digital tools which enable them to create engaging blended and hybrid lessons for the 21st century learners. And using FreeJu CollabEd, a social networking platform, they can learn from each other, share ideas and lesson plans, collaborate on research projects, etc. The teachers love us because we offer them an extremely secure, teacher-friendly platform with offerings in English, Bahasa Indonesia, Hindi, Vietnamese, and other Asian languages. We have localized payment options, which allow teachers to make payments by cash if they don't have credit cards, and we can collaborate with anyone wishing to access our extremely vibrant global community. There are more than 95 million public school teachers globally. With 54% of them in Asia, our target is to acquire 5 million in the next 5 to 6 years. And over the last 1 year, we have acquired more than 100,000 users from 36 countries, and our current freemium to premium conversion rate stands at a very healthy 16%. With more than 100,000 positive video testimonials, our impact is clearly demonstrated. Our current customers include government departments, private and public school, corporates, financial institutions, and we also have signed contracts, which when we execute will generate a substantial income for us. Our business model includes B2G, B2B, and B2C markets, and is proving to be extremely sustainable and scalable because we monetize in a wide variety of ways, always making sure that teachers find it affordable and beneficial. Since one of the big problems faced by teachers is declining income, our technology roadmap includes 2 specific features which will empower educators everywhere by giving them an opportunity to earn through FreeJu as well. This includes a marketplace where teachers will be able to buy and sell teaching resources, and offering teaching as a service where teachers can teach anyone from anywhere and earn an additional income for themselves. Our funnel is straightforward. We generate leads from various channels and are currently converting 16.5% of the leads to paid memberships. Further upselling opportunities will be available to us once we launch the future updates of FreeJu. All of this ensures that we monetize in several ways, thus making our business very sticky, scalable, and extremely sustainable. We have already onboarded half of our 2021 teacher onboarding target, and with FreeJu version 2 just around the corner, we are confident of achieving the revenue target by the end of the year as well. Considering that we empower educators everywhere, the social impact of our business is immense. Not only we help teachers improve the quality of the lessons, we can also help create new jobs and income opportunities for them. Collectively, we believe we have the best team with decades of experience needed to empower educators everywhere. The 3 co-founders, including me, are not first-time founders. In addition to this, our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Bartels, and I have left our tenured position at Northwestern State University in the US and Singapore Polytechnic, respectively, to be a part of Acad Asia. And my co-founder, Jaime Santos, leads one of the premier business schools in the Philippines as well. In addition to this, we are supported by several technology, academic, and acceleration partners who all believe that our mission of empowering educators everywhere is extremely important. In the last year, our user base has grown by 40 times, which firmly validates our assumption that teachers need to be upskilled on a war footing. Now, as part of our seed round, we are looking to raise $1 million to further grow into newer markets and build new product that will help us further empower educators everywhere. To conclude, teacher training that is relevant, affordable, and accessible is desperately needed. For how do we prepare our children for the future if we relegate our teachers to the past? Thank you.
Nice, nice. We still have time too. Moving on to Q&A, please.
Yeah, maybe I could start here. I noticed that 95% of your customers and your growth is from the Philippines. I'm curious what the journey was for you to. The Philippines is not the most friendly education sector to work with, so I'm curious how you did it.
Well, you're right. It's not it's not the easiest sector to kind of get into. However, we wanted to kind of sandbox a lot of our ideas in the Philippines because we believe that if we can make this work in the Philippines, it can be easily translated across the region. And also, in the first version, we did not really have too many language options. So English and Philippines was the easiest to kind of enter. But we worked with we initially started with a free course for teachers in the Philippines, and we run a lot of webinars for the teachers in the Philippines. And that has kind of mushroomed into us getting contracts from the Department of Education. So we work directly with the DepEd over there now. And we have now also partnered directly with Philippine Association of State Universities and Colleges. So just between these two organizations, we currently have two contracts where we need to upskill more than 300 over 1,000 teachers by the end of the year. So that's how we pretty much grown in the Philippines. It's been a difficult journey, but it's been worth its while.
And what are the usual pain points for them, especially DepEd, to actually be onboarded, because they're practically not the fastest when it comes to this? I guess the pandemic helps, but I'm curious, like, what was the biggest pain point they wanted to tackle?
So I think the biggest pain point for DepEd is how do we scale teacher training? Because right now, if you look at the current teacher training models, it's all face-to-face. And if you start looking at face-to-face, the two big challenges come into play. One is they are expensive. Typically, a face-to-face session costs about $50 to $100 per teacher per session, per course rather. And if you have 1 million teachers in the Philippines, I mean, imagine how you want to scale it. It's going to take you years. The model that we have, we can really scale it up very, very quickly. So at one time, we are basically onboarding 30, 40,000 teachers at a time, and really, giving them access to the professional development courses straight away. And now with version 2, which is just around the corner, that can even expedite even more because the technology stack has pretty much grown as well.
Nilesh, one of the things which, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, AJ, no problem.
So Nilesh, one of the things with the online education and upskilling programs is that their moats are mostly around the execution, not around the ideation, because idea is pretty much there, right?
Yeah.
So tell me your top 3 moats you have.
Okay, so in terms of the execution, first of all, I think is our onboarding. How do we actually onboard teachers? So we run a lot of free events. So every 2 weeks we run a variety of workshops online for teachers. So in fact, 2 weeks ago we ran a workshop where we had 12,500 teachers signing up, and from 95 countries. So from there, we then convert 16% into paid memberships, because what we've also realized is professional development is something that is common pain point for teachers globally. In fact, if you look at even the North American market, a lot of teachers are really hungry for these kind of programs. So we are basically converting quite a few teachers on the platform. The big challenge for us in the version 1 has been, even though we have 16% conversion rate, the challenge has been that it's low as far as we are concerned, because we believe we can actually convert to almost 30%. So in version 1, we've only been able to accept payments by credit cards, but now in version 2, we are looking to be able to accept payments by cash as well. So those are some of the the couple of things that we kind of look at in terms of onboarding and converting.
Makes sense. And okay, there's 1 minute left. I'll let Tanya ask some questions as well.
Thanks, AJ. I have like a very a quick question, just really on the concept around it, right? I think content-wise, typically it's pretty localized. So Indonesian has the way they share content to their teacher, like educational content, and so on for the other countries. So I'm just wondering, what exactly is the skill being given to the teachers there? And relevant question on the first question is more on what is being achieved by having, like, I don't know, the license from ASEAN. Is it like increase in salary, they can start using it? Do you have any track record on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Great question. We are not getting into the local syllabus. We don't train local syllabus. What we are looking at is specific teaching skill sets which cut across globally, which cut across the various levels. So for example, a teacher these days needs 3 different skill sets: pedagogical skills, technical skills, and life skills. So we are basically taking into account all of those programs. And the programs are not just being developed by us, but we are now onboarding partners from the US and Singapore. So these are, renowned education universities and colleges who have their own professional development content, which is also being offered to the teachers on the platform. So the certifications come from us and from these other universities. They are internationally certified. And once you are internationally certified, of course, your earning potential goes up. So I mean, in Indonesia, for example, a majority of the teachers are not certified. And so the moment you have a certified teacher in Indonesia, the salary almost doubles. So
we're going to need to finish your question there. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Pitching next on the list will be System Stone from Thailand. You may now begin.
Okay. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay, so let me share the slide. Okay, so can you see my slide now? Okay, so can I start?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sithikorn. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Factorium. Every factory in the world, they are really concerned about the machine efficiency, because if the machine are stopping just in one day, they can lose $1 million in revenue. But currently, over 80% of 500,000 factories in Southeast Asia are still working really old style. They lost a lot of time on paperwork. They use a lot of people to analyze a lot of data, and they still using a lot of offline tool to inspection machines. So Factorium, we are providing a software platform to help factory improving their maintenance ability. Our platform are mostly based on the mobile application. So our application being downloaded higher in the Asia region. And we have really good feedback from the user with our review score. The applications can help engineer to get the real-time notification if the machine have some failures. They can use this application to create the work order and assignment, and we also help them automate their workflow. And they can use this application to collaborate with the outer department in factory as well. We also provide a lot of knowledge content to help our customer improve their knowledge. And this application can support a lot of activity in factory, I can say. All of maintenance activity can be done within our application. Our uniqueness is our platform can integrating with a lot of third-party software like ERP, SAP, or we even can integrating directly to the hardware solution for machines. With our platforms, we can help customer create like a digital twin of the important machine and help them predict the machine failure before it's happened. About our business model, we provide this platform as a software as a service, a subscription fee. Our customer can download the application for free and use our freemium package with a limit of a team size. And if they need to increase the number of engineers, we charge $35 per engineer per month. And if they need to integrating a data for machine, we charge $4 per data tag per month. The results to using our platform, for example, we can help some big corporate in Thailand improving the engineering response time over 200%, and they can repairing machine more faster over 300%. After 3 years, we launched the platform. We can grow with a lot of customers, over 4,300 of factory and 18 technician user. And some of our customers is a big player like a Unilever, Caterpillar, Shell, or CPF. About our financial, in last year, we just profitable with almost 200% growth. And our retention rate is over 90%. It's really high comparing with the other company. We are the first Thailand company winning the Asia Smart App Award in the second award. And this is can guarantee our application innovation. We also been a partner with a lot of big corporate like Mitsubishi Electric, Omron, Murata. That's integrating the hardware solution to our software platform. Our founder have a lot of experience developing IT solution to #1 food and beverage manufacturer in Thailand, CP Group, and we use a lot of that experience to work to developing this solution. And currently, we are still looking for the Series investor as well. So thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much. You still have an extra 30 seconds. Moving on to judges Q&A, please.
Okay, I'll start with 2 questions. Thanks all for the presentation. So first one, just curious on how you actually, I mean, like the installation process. Like how long does it take for you to really complete it, whether it's premium or even the premium model, right? And then the second one, I guess I'm just wondering, like, what's the current retention looking like the overall cohort?
Okay. For the first question to implementing the system, we decide the system to be a self-implementation. So we have a learning center for our customer. We have a free training in every Friday. And we decide the user experience and user interface for very easier to understand. So over 85% of our customer, they learning and installing the platform by themselves. They just go to App Store, Play Store, download the application and following the guideline in the application. And about 5%, they are our premium customer. We have the additional service, implementing service with our technician team. So they can hiring our engineer to help the marketing the data, set up the platform, and help the training the engineer and production team.
Yeah. You capture the error using IoT?
Or
no?
We both working with the workforce and IoT solution, because to maintain a lot of machine and facility, we need to have all data from the people side and from the hardware side. So this software platform can integrating the data from people using the mobile application and integrating the data from machine using IoT and machine controller. Yeah. But we did not provide any hardware. We just provide the software to integrating. Yeah.
I guess my only question is, what's your lifetime value so far with your customer base?
Okay. Lifetime value is about 10 years at our retention rate, 90%.
What's sorry, in dollars, please?
In dollar is each year in average revenue per customer is about $6,000 per one customer. So for the lifetime value is about $60,000.
Thank you.
And compare with the cost per acquire is about 21 times.
If you're not providing IoT, then if you're not providing any hardware, then how are you capturing the matrices where there is no, like how do people capture the matrix or data on the site? Okay,
so for the hardware side, we're working with our partner. We have a lot of partners. They're really excellent in the hardware electronic. For example, Murata from Japan, Mitsubishi Electric from Japan, or the Omron. They both providing a lot of sensor solution. So our customer can use any kind of sensor and integrating with our software platform.
Cool, awesome.
We still have a minute and a half left if anyone wants to ask more questions.
No, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, thank you. I think it's no
Yeah.
more question.
Perfect. Then I guess we'll move on to our next contestant.
Thank you.
Next up in the program, we have Outpost from Singapore. The floor is now yours.
Thanks, everyone. I'll gladly take that extra minute, but yeah. Let me just very quickly get the screen going. All right, awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Sharif, founder and CEO at Outpost, where our mission is to modernize street food vendors and just making sure that everything's okay here. Good? All right, good to go. So everyone has got to eat, and even the judges, apparently. And starting a food business is a great way to earn cash. That's what my grandparents and my dad did many years ago. And we knew of neighbors and friends who started a food business on the side to earn some extra income. But today, to do so is increasingly difficult. You see, to start a food business, supposedly you got to have a restaurant. And while restaurants are seemingly desirable, they're a really expensive exercise. They cost upwards of $100,000 to get started. And if you're lucky, you might make some profit in 2 to 3 years' time. Otherwise, it can be a really expensive lesson. True story, that's me. I too started a street food business, but unfortunately had to close down the business due to unsustainable cost structure. On the flip side of this, you've got street food vendors. They cost less than $1,000 to deploy and get started. And they're a lot more mobile, resilient, and responsive to demand. And they're even profitable. But as we all know, they're not the most hygienic setup. Therefore, they run the real risk of literally being taken off the streets due to regulatory and urbanization pressure. So to me, this is a picture of not progress, but someone losing their livelihoods. Now, our primary thesis at Outpost is, what if you can have the best of both worlds? The cost effectiveness and mobility factor of street food carts, plus the high fidelity operations and hygiene standards of restaurant. See, the cost of deploying one restaurant can easily help deploy 100 street carts, and just as importantly, help fund 100 people to start a micro food business to earn a decent and dignified living for themselves. So to that end, our mission at Outpost is to help level up your street food vendors to operate in a much more economic, social, and operationally sound way, while helping local communities still have access to affordable and nutritious food on a daily basis. But what we've realized, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic period, is that while we're enabling street food vendors to operate in a much more professional and dignified way, we can also help micro food brands to expand their business in a much more cost-effective way, but without compromising on their brand integrity or operational setup. So how do we do this? Our solution has got a full stack approach that incorporates hardware, software, and foodware. On the hardware side, we're basically reimagining your good old street cart. Think of it, so we call it a street smart cart. Think of it as a Tesla of street carts, but at the price point of a Toyota. Every one of our street smart card comes with everything that you need to run a hygienic and professional food business, and starts at just $1,000. And for a bit more, you could have your e-bike version or a motorbike version, which carries a bigger payload and go a further distance. But here's the best part. For our merchants to get started with us, it costs them $0 upfront. That's right, $0 upfront, thanks in part to the micro retail, micro financing program we've put in place. Here's a couple of the street smart cards that we've already deployed. So our Street Smart Card as a service model, or SaaS in short, gives a merchant everything that they need to start a micro food business that with just a small payment a month and a transaction fee. We then ensure that only trusted source of food originates from our brand partner Central Kitchen gets supplied to them. We then do a forward integration into payments platform, food delivery platforms, and even give them a bespoke design mobile point of sale system to help manage their business digitally and interact with consumers in a new way. We've got a few brand partners on board, and there's hundreds more brands in the pipeline that we can potentially work with. But just as importantly, we've got a couple of social organizations that are working with us who are keen to send over 1,000 of their beneficiaries to become a micro food business owner. So that's pretty cool. Now, how do we make money? Just to be clear, we're not in the business of selling hardware. Instead, we're in the business of helping our merchants get started and continue running their business in a sustainable way. And then we partake in that value creation. So we're not only offering value proposition to the consumers and merchants, but also we could work with local government entities to help better manage street food vendors through our digital platform. Now, the market is huge. Every day, 2.5 billion people from around the world still consume from street food vendors. In Indonesia itself, there's over 500,000 street food carts that needs to upgrade their business to stay in business. Brands are looking for new form of distribution. So there's tremendous headroom for our growth. If you get our playbook right in Indonesia, there's a real possibility to expand to other markets, not just within Southeast Asia, but world over. So I believe we're in the right market, and with COVID, it's proven that what we're building is even more important than ever. And we like to think we've got the right end-to-end solution, but just as importantly, we've got the right team. So Adri runs a local workshop that's built hundreds of these wooden carts. I'm helping him build the IoT version of it. Ari runs a local franchise food business, so he knows on the ground operations. And as you've heard, my family and I has got generations of experience running food businesses. I used to also run a mobile development studio, so some of our digital natives are with us to help build the digital version of the product. We're looking to raise $500,000, which I'm happy to say that we fully subscribed for this round, but we're open to additional subscription. With this, we hope to deploy about 100 street smart carts and generate about $1 million of GMV. So that's Outpost. Join us in empowering street food vendors, but also in shaping the future of micro retail. My name is Sharif, and we're from Outpost, your outdoor point of sale network. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was right on the dot. Moving on to Q&A, please.
That was really fast for presentation, Sharif. Good job.
Thanks, Ajay.
I'm super happy to see that somebody is doing something to actually for empowering microeconomics, which is nice. One of the things which comes to me in terms of food quality and the other things like food, whatever food you're selling, it's going to be cool or it's going to be hot, cold or hot or whatever. So tell me more about the cuisine and food you're selling on this, because that is something I believe personally is super important for us to understand. That what are you selling? Like, for example, I don't know, I do not want to give any example. Why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Sure. So having come from a family generational food business, I think we were very particular about the food quality itself. I'm sure it's like I'm preaching to the choir here, but I'm sure of virtual kitchens, ghost kitchen concepts where.
Of course, I ran go food.
Yeah, exactly. So but we've seen folks, especially tech oriented folks who try to, for lack of better words, cut corners and like, hey, can we just use my microwave and push of a button and preheat meals? But we're particular about the food quality standard, and that's why when I started on this, I insisted. We know that hardware is difficult. And we're definitely experiencing that firsthand right now. But we insisted in making sure that the foods that our brand partners and suppliers send can be handled and cooked on site, so they're as fresh and yummy as possible, right? Having said that, is how do you maintain quality and hygiene factor within the value chain, right? So this is where we don't only work in helping our merchants digitize and transform their business, but we also ensure that we work with existing micro brand partners. Having been in Indonesia, I'm sure you know that there's hundreds, if not thousands, of small micro brands that really have interesting SOPs, recipes, and even brand recognition, right? So they ensure that from their central kitchen, that food quality is okay. We make sure that it gets sent to our merchant in a good way, and then they prepare it following the SOPs from the existing brand partners. Now, don't get me wrong, not all brand partners have that sophisticated. Some of them don't have proper quality controls, but this is where Outpost, we work together with the franchise advisor, and we put our own level bar of franchise operation SOP, and we help level up our brand partners just as we help level up our merchants. So that's how we invest in our brand partners and merchants to ensure that the food quality is on par, regardless whichever Outpost it's sold at. I hope that answers the question.
It does. Another thing which I wanted to ask is that you said you will do a delivery from local moving cart to somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
How is it going to be? Because the cart has to be stationary for some time.
That's correct. Yep. So that's definitely a challenge. As you know, with GoFood and the other OFO, or as we call it, online food ordering platforms, right? One of the requirements is you need to have a X and Y location, right? So this is where Outpost actually invests in a few safe space where our street food vendors can actually park at that particular location, not only to cook their food, but also fulfill their food delivery orders. Now, the mobile carts that we work with, they don't drive around all the time or ride around all the time, right? Because then you'll be riding rather than selling. So the typical use case is you go from point A to point B, maybe point C and then D, but definitely back to point A. So we make sure there's safe havens for them to park and fulfill the delivery orders. The other thing we want to do is, and this is still in progress, we're in talks with a super app company where we want to enable dynamic location tracking, right? So that's something that we're also jamming on. We'll see if that happens. If that happens, then I think we can untether all your vendors to operate in a mobile manner. So yeah.
Cool. I wonder how many super app companies are in Indonesia.
Was that?
I wonder how many super app companies are in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. Without mentioning names, So yeah.
Yeah. For me, quick question: what's the take-home pay for the vendors? Is it like above the usual take-home pay that they get if they were just doing their own thing?
Sure. So that's a good question. I mean, that's going back down to the unit economics, right? And as my mom told me when I was a lot younger, if you're going to be selling food, you make sure you make money, you make some profit, right? So this is just an example of a particular vendor where on average, they target to sell 20 chickens a day, whole chicken. So that's roughly about 150, 160 pieces of chicken when you cut into 8 or 9 parts, right? If I get my maths right. Yeah, so if they do this kind of numbers on a daily basis, they should be making in Singapore dollars, in simplified Singapore dollars, about $1,000, which is not bad for an average chap in Jakarta or across Indonesia. They can then choose to hire 1 or 2 more guys to help them out, and they still bring back home about $600 a month. So that's still a decent amount. Having said that, of course,
sorry, we have to cut it there.
Sure, that's fine. Thank you very much for all the questions. Yeah, happy to take it offline as well.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, we have Profine from Thailand here to present our last pitch. Please take it away.
Hello, thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me. This is Gautam. I'm a PhD student at AIT and also developing a platform for farmers and crop insurance companies whose farms are affected by natural disasters. So we are monitoring, assessing, and risk underwriting using satellite imagery and machine learning technologies. So you might not be aware that, like in the current scenario, the crop insurance is a very serious issue in South and Southeast Asian countries, probably because the current supply chain of crop insurance is very large and farmers are getting their claim back after 2 years. So the time period of which is very large, and sometimes farmers and the farming community affects a lot, and they don't have any money to run their livelihood. So this is a very big issue. So how it happens actually? So when any farm is affected by the flood and the drought, so government and also insurance companies needs to pay the claim and compensation to the affected farms or disaster affected farms. So usually, like previously, they used to send the human resources on the field to carry out how much damage has been occurred or loss has been occurred to give them proper compensation or the fair compensation or the claim. So also when any farm occurs or like when any flood occurs or drought occurs, it occurs in very large areas. So the whole process is quite lengthy and labor and time intensive. Right nowadays, people are using drone also, but drone only provide you a single profile, or like it will not give you profile of the farmland before flooding. But we are providing a remote sensing or satellite-based index, which will give you a fair estimation of how much damage has been occurred to the farms before and after disaster. So we are providing our services to risk protection providers as well as the farm providers, agriculture product providers. So how we are doing it? So we have number of satellite data or Earth observation satellites which are capturing the Earth on the regular basis, and they are freely available for any area. And in this case, we are using radar data because radar data can penetrate through the clouds. So even during cloudy condition or during clouds also, because as we are testing it in the Thailand, which is always covered by the clouds. So our technology will sense even during cloudy condition also, and then we are using machine learning and deep learning technique to process all the satellite data and retrieve reliable information from the satellite imagery. And then we are using our mobile application to provide the disease and climatic risk alert to the farmer. So this is the whole framework that we are doing. We are making it more easier, faster, and reliable than the conventional product. So this is our dashboard. We are not asking anything to the farmer, just we are asking farmer to provide a picture of the farm, and that picture will work as a ground data or that training data to run our algorithms in machine learning or to improve our analytics part. So this is our dashboard, which will help not only farmer but also insurance providers for risk forecasting, risk monitoring, and risk assessment for any farm in any area. And our revenue stream, like we are not charging anything, just we are charging area-based fees from the insurance companies and the government, and we are not asking anything to pay from the farmer side. Just we are asking to provide a picture of the farm to improve our analytics part. So if we talk about like market opportunity, 95% of the assets are still uninsured, and you might not be aware that like in the Asian region is highly vulnerable to such kind of natural disaster. It might be cyclone, it might be tsunami or drought or the flood. So that's why, and this is increasing, and the frequency of these disasters keep increasing day by day due to climate change. This is the total serviceable market in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and it is quite large, and which make us very sustainable into this business. We did competitive landscape analysis, and we found that like we are heavily backed by the technical background, but we lacks in the micro insurance and credit sector, and we are also identify the opportunities like none of the companies are using radar data. So we are utilizing radar data specifically, and our algorithms are backed by the radar data. So that's why our tool is quite different than existing companies that are available into the market. We seek about $500,000 to expand our business and to integrate number of technologies like the IoT solutions or the blockchain into our solution and to expand our market. We are targeting our break-even point in next 2 years for 500,000 that we have asked. We currently already developed the flood MVP and the drought MVP because as this was the part of my doctoral research, so we already developed it and tested into sugarcanes and paddy rice farms into the Thailand with support of PepsiCo and the Nestle. This is our team. Our team comprises of experts from the technological field, and we also have support from the computing resources from the Tokyo University of Technology, and also we also license with the SAR data provided from the Inspector Tokyo, which provide daily radar data observation. And by this, we are also solving number of SDG goals defined by the United Nations, which covers like poverty alleviation, because we are providing disease and climatic alerts, which will improve the yield and the production of the farmers. Secondly, we are also mitigating.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time for the pitch. We'll need to move on to Q&A, please.
Yeah.
Ajay, you want to go first?
No, go ahead, Tanya.
All right. Okay. Quick question from me. Just wondering, what is the approach to this business? Is it B2B, B2B2C, or direct B2C? Because I guess the rationale why I'm asking this is because first, if it's B2C, right? How are you? Is the farmers even using smartphone in the first place? And how are you going to ensure that they're going to keep on actually like taking picture and uploading it? But if it's B2B, B2C as well, how are the farmers going to pay for the insurance? But if it's B2B2C, what are actually the incentive for the corporations to do so?
Yeah, so many countries have their mandatory crop insurance schemes, and they provide subsidy to the farmers, even if you consider India or even into the South and Southeast Asia market. So they already have crop insurance with them. It is not compulsory to have mobile phone in the market because risk protection services are provided by the government and also insurance companies. So what we are doing, like we are providing an estimate of the damage which has been occurred into the farm by measuring, by analyzing analytics pre and post disaster. So farmer, it is not compulsory to provide, but in some cases, like as contract farming is trend is increasing day by day. So the farmer, for example, which is backed by the Nestle or the PepsiCo, so they have their farmer head, and in which the farmer head can provide the relevant information to the specific farmer. So it is not compulsory to have this mobile application or the mobile phone with them, because we are not directly providing damage estimate to the farmer. We are providing our services to insurance companies and the government. But a smartphone would be beneficial to improve our algorithm. So this is just an optional. So if farmer want to take advisory like climatic and disease risk advisory, it is provided free of cost on the cost of providing a single picture as a ground data. And we are charging area-based fees like $100 for 10,000 square meter of the area per year. So we have these plans like area-based fees. And we also have historical database, which will be useful for the insurance companies for the risk underwriting also. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Welcome.
I guess I can go here. Are you working closely with the insurance providers and the banks, especially on the collateral side? Because technically they work together too, right? I'm curious how you're going, especially on the expansion side.
Yeah, so currently, like we are targeting big food companies like Nestle and PepsiCo because they already have license with the insurance companies. So our role would be to just monitor the farm and provide the damage estimates to the crop insurance companies so that it can be paid directly to the farmer. So currently, like our the channel is through food companies only. Like it can be a CP group or for the aquaculture ponds, or it can be Pepsi, Nestle, PepsiCo. Like currently, we are monitoring sugarcane farms in the northeast of Thailand. So we are not directly currently licensing up with the insurance companies, but indirectly through the food companies, we are reaching them out.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from judges?
So I wanted to wrap up. Like we already tested our algorithm and we got more than 80% accuracy, and we have tried to reduce the period of 2 years to 2 weeks in terms of claim and compensation repayment to the farmer, so that they can have some financial stability to run their livelihood by using this technology, because satellite are regularly monitoring the earth and we are deriving analytics out of it.
Okay, thank you so much. That concludes our pitching round. So thank you to the startups for that. Our esteemed judges will now take 15 minutes to deliberate and select one winner who will go on to the EWC Global 100 stage. Please use this time to stretch your legs, get some water, go to the bathroom. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
The rooms are open. Judges will see you in the room.
Hello again, everyone. After our judging process, we've come to a conclusion to this year's EWC Southeast Asia Social Impact Finals. To present the award, I'd like to introduce Mr. Dato Steve Chia, Chairman of Global Entrepreneurship Network in Thailand, as well as to close the ceremony. So please take it away, Steve.
Hi, can you see me now? Yes, okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Kunta, for that. I'd like to thank all of you for participating in this event. I'm sure it's not an easy decision for the judges. So for all the judges, I want to thank you all for the hard work and contribution you made. And I just want to acknowledge a few people on this. This regional event is only made possible through the hard work and contribution of our team members from GEN Thailand, GEN Singapore, the ASEAN Youth Organization, the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Gobi partners. So we hope that we'll continue to work together to bring the, this event as regularly. Also, the competition is supported by a couple of supporters like AWS, Absent, Startup Hacks, Code Assurance, and Andy. So I'd like to thank all the supporters for making it possible. Well, we are very proud. I'm very proud to announce that the winner that will join the 100 EWC Global 100 is Jaspery. So thank you and congratulations, Jaspery, for being the winner. Okay.
Thank you so much.
If we are able to fly this year, this November, we'll see you in Saudi Arabia. Okay? If we are not, I'm sure they will come out with a last-minute decision how we're going to do the finals competition. There's $1 million at stake. There's a lot of money. So last year we are very proud that Singapore won. So we, ASEAN has won the first prize last year. Let's try to keep this trend for this year as well. So thank you all, Sawadee krap, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you so much, Dato Steve. As a consolation, everyone that participated in the finals competition will also receive $5,000 in AWS credits, sponsored by AWS. I'll be emailing everyone the logistics on how to receive this momentarily. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for applying and all the judges, everyone that's worked on this project. Couldn't have done it without you. And yeah, hope everyone stays safe through COVID. I know it's hit Southeast Asia the hardest at the moment, so everyone's ideas is much needed at the moment. And yeah, hope to see you again next year.
Oh, I forgot one thing. I think the winner, Jasper, will also receive $100,000 in kind from EWC in terms of support as well.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you to all the judges and contestants.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Before we go off, we just take a group shot together. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone.
All right, back to work.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good weekend. Bye. Take care.
Yeah, everyone. Bye.
Yes, we did it, guys.
Nice. Congrats.
Should turn off the live first, Jaron?
Yes, hang on.
All right, we're
Really.
still on live.